In this episode of The Unfettered Life, I want to offer a different way of understanding manifestation. One that does not rely on wishful thinking, emotional hype, or forcing positive thoughts. Instead, this method works directly with the nervous system and self-regulation. Most manifestation teachings fail not because people are doing them wrong, but because they ignore a simple truth. The nervous system does not move toward what it wants. It moves toward what feels safe, familiar, and internally permitted. This is something that you will seldom hear on the internet. This means that when desire is paired with anxiety or urgency or fantasy, the body actually resists the very outcome the mind is chasing. Because what we are really seeking through manifestation are not objects, more money, or houses, or relationships, but the internal chemistry of calm, safety, warmth, contentment, and permission to rest. And when those states are absent in us, the mind projects them into the future as hope. This practice reverses that pattern by cultivating coherence first. And it's not a trick to get results, but it is the foundation that allows results to become possible without collapsing. The method I use is called AMBE, anchoring, mirroring, boundaries, and exit. And it begins by regulating the present moment before imagining anything at all. Anchoring means bringing attention into the body right now and feeling the breath, the weight of your body, and the contact with the ground. Mirroring means noticing the thoughts, the emotions, and the narratives that are present without correcting or arguing with them. Boundaries means gently containing the experience, like softening the jaw, the throat, and the belly, slowing the exhale, and not letting the mind spiral outward into urgency. And finally, exit means to consciously step out of the thought loop and return to the living current of life as it is happening right now. Only after this kind of regulation do we briefly introduce an intention. And it's not through an elaborate visualization, but through a simple 30-second ordinary scene, something realistic and human, like drinking coffee on the porch, or waking up feeling rested, or working calmly. Not to escape the present, but to familiarize the nervous system with a future state until it no longer feels charged or threatening. This is why I say no fantasy, and no forced visualization, because fantasy spikes dopamine. It reinforces a sense of lack, while familiarity builds safety and readiness. So begin with a target intention. What is it that you want? After that brief image, the practice returns immediately to the present moment with one small, grounded action. It's not a leap, not a plan, but a step that is easy and real. Because action is how the nervous system learns that this future can be allowed. And over time, perception will shift. Opportunities will become noticeable. Decisions feel less dramatic, and life reorganizes not through effort, but through alignment. The path of manifestation in this sense is not attracting something from outside, but removing the internal resistance that says, "This is not safe for me." And when that resistance dissolves, movement happens naturally. And the result is that even before circumstances change, the inner state people are actually seeking begins to arise. Calmness, steadiness, contentment. And from that state, life can unfold without desperation, without debt, without waiting. This is not about controlling reality. It is not about bypassing the difficulties of life. It is about becoming coherent enough that the future no longer has to carry the burden of your own peace. And that is the heart of an unfettered life. Living now, anchored, regulated, and awake, while allowing what is meant to come to arrive in its own time, without fantasy, without force, and without postponement. To close, I want to offer you a simple nervous system practice that you can work with gently over time, not to force outcomes, but to cultivate readiness. So first, choose one clear target, not a whole new life, but write a single sentence about what you want, what you wish to experience. Keep your manifestation target human and concrete. Make it something realistic. Second, write 3 feeling words you want to experience most days. Something like calmness or safety or contentment or connection. Because the nervous system will move toward familiar feeling states, not ideas. Third, before imagining anything, Regulate yourself by using the Ambe method for about 2 minutes. Anchor by feeling your body and your breath. You can breathe in a count of 4, hold it for 4, and breathe out to a count of 6. You want to breathe out longer than you breathe in, which calms the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Now mirror by noticing the thoughts or fears without trying to correct them. State your boundaries by softening your jaw, your throat, your belly, and slowing your exhale. And realize that your body is safe, it is warm, it is coherent right now. Now exit by seeing yourself stepping out of the thought loop of lack and returning to the living current of your body in this moment. Now, after you've done this, once a day, run a simple 30-second ordinary scene in your mind. Make it something realistic, like seeing yourself where you want to be, drinking coffee or going for a walk or waking up feeling rested or being on the beach or in the woods. Whatever it is that makes you feel alive. You're doing this not to escape the now moment, but to let the nervous system become familiar with a future that no longer feels charged or threatened. The next step is ask one grounded question. Ask yourself, what is one small step I can take this week? Not a plan, not a leap, just something easy and real. And if it's possible, do it that same day, because action teaches the body that this life is being allowed. The next step is to remove one small blocker. Remove a draining habit, a postponement pattern. Remove some unnecessary clutter in your life, or a story that you've been carrying that says you must wait, or you don't have enough money, or there's some lack in your life. Because subtraction reduces resistance as powerfully as does effort. And finally, once a week, take 10 minutes to reflect on what opportunities you've noticed and what actions feel natural. This trains your perception to recognize openings in your life instead of chasing outcomes. And there's 2 simple rules to remember. Don't imagine what you want while you are feeling needy or desperate. Always regulate yourself first, and measure your progress by steadiness, real action, and openings that come into your life. Not by instant results. This is not about controlling reality. It is about becoming coherent enough so that the future no longer has to carry the burden of your peace.